greet our friends everywhere with Chapter 7 of Dr. Ida, the story of Ida Scudder. This is another in the series, Stories of Great Christians, and comes to you from the Moody Bible Institute of Chicago.
The Scudders, my parents and I, sailed from India on furlough in 1894. The next summer, I took my Regents examinations in New York, and in the fall of 1895, I began my medical studies at the Women's Medical College in Philadelphia. After all of the years of fighting the idea of becoming a missionary, I now found myself impatient in having to face the discipline and the coming years of preparing for my task.
I want to welcome you young ladies to the Women's Medical College. I'm Dr. Clara Marshall, and as your dean, we'll be working together often during these coming months. First, I want to tell you something about your school. We've come a long way from 1850, when this college opened in a few rented rooms with 40 students on Arch Street. Today, we are a full-fledged, accredited institution, offering a 4-year course leading toward the MD degree. We have a faculty of 55 persons, 40 of whom are women doctors. If you work at it, you'll become a physician, too. We don't pretend that it will be easy. Most of you girls have had little training in science, and you'll have to make up for that lack. And after you graduate, you'll learn that the medical societies, which are made up of male doctors, are still rather dubious about admitting women physicians to their ranks. But you can succeed. Dozens of our graduates are in active practice. All of you are here because you want to be. Retain that motivation, and all of us will succeed.
The Women's Medical College was a Quaker institution. It was affiliated with a women's hospital, which treated some 7,000 patients each year, in addition to a dispensary in one of the slum areas of Philadelphia. The American Medical Association had been founded about this time, and one of its requirements for a medical college to have Class A accreditation was for it to be affiliated with a general hospital, and our women's hospital did not qualify. But we didn't worry too much about that. There was too much to do and study. I had not only to make up for the science background I lacked, but I also faced a problem with my mission board.
Please sit down, Miss Scudder.
Thank you, Miss Fairlinghuysen.
I suppose you're wondering why I asked you to come to New York.
Well, yes, I am. I hope my work isn't that bad.
How is it going?
Northfield Academy taught us girls Latin and English literature, not chemistry and physiology. But I'm working hard.
I know you are.
You're with the Women's Auxiliary, aren't you?
Yes, I am. And I'm also a member of the Board of Missions. That's why I've asked you to come to New York. This is still pretty much of a man's world, Ida, as I suspect you're discovering.
Yes.
That applies to mission boards, too. We had quite a debate last week as to whether you should be encouraged to continue your medical studies.
But I thought that had already been decided.
Some of the men are having second thoughts. They're thinking ahead, as they put it. They wonder if it's proper to send an unmarried doctor to the mission field.
Oh, good heavens.
Now, if you were planning to be married, the board would feel better about its investment in your medical education. Are there any prospects?
None whatsoever. And I don't intend to run out and find a husband just to satisfy the board.
Single medical missionaries are a novelty, though.
What about Clara Swain? She was graduated from the college I'm now attending back in 1869. In fact, she's serving in India. And there's Anna Kugler and Louisa Hart.
There's also Mrs. Joshi, but she's married.
You know about her?
Oh, I've been doing my homework, too. Mrs. Anandbai Joshi, the first Hindu woman in the world to receive a medical degree. I agree with you, Ida. You're not the first woman to attempt this, but you are the first such candidate our board is considering.
Was a decision reached?
Not unanimously, I'm afraid. But the majority finally agreed that if you were called to do this kind of work, we must not put ourselves in your way. We voted to pay for your tuition, and the Women's Auxiliary will have a special interest in you.
I'm so grateful.
I wanted to have this chat with you, though, in order for you to understand that you are a pioneer, that the road won't be easy. But there are many of us who stand behind you with our hopes and prayers.
I'll try not to let you down.
Remember that New York is close enough to Philadelphia for us to keep in close touch. There may be times when you'll want to cry on somebody's shoulder. If it will ever help to talk things over with me, please do so. God's best, Ida.
I believe it was God's leading that I began my studies when I did. The new science of bacteriology was coming into prominence, and it was exciting. And for the first time, subjects such as public health, sanitation, and preventive medicine were being discussed and taught. Facts and methods and techniques which would have a tremendous bearing upon my future work in India.
Excuse me. You're Miss Scudder, aren't you?
Yes?
May I speak with you for a moment? My name is Birchfield Milliken.
Haven't I seen you somewhere before? At the dispensary?
Yes, you have. I'm a medical student at the men's college. We put in some time at the dispensary, too.
What year are you in?
Only my first. I'm a year behind you.
How did you know my name?
Well, I'm afraid I took the liberty of making some inquiries. I've been wanting to meet you for a long time.
Well, you make it all sound rather mysterious.
Have you seen much of Philadelphia since you've been here?
Not very much. I've been busy just trying to keep up. It's a bit more competitive for us women.
Oh, you'll never hear me ridiculing a woman, Doctor. I think it's grand that women are going to take their place in medicine.
Do you happen to know my plans? That I intend to become a medical missionary?
In India, yes. Yes, like I said, I made inquiries.
That's right. You did say that.
About seeing something of the city, have you visited Independence Hall?
Believe it or not, I haven't. Not in the 2 years I've been here.
Would you care to visit it with me next Sunday afternoon? It ought to be a pleasant walk from the college.
I'd like that very much. Thank you, Mr. Milliken.
Oh, thank you, Miss Scudder.
Your letter wasn't entirely clear, Ida.
I just had to come to New York to see you, Miss Frelinghuysen.
Are there difficulties at school?
No, I'm working hard and I'm getting good grades. I'm learning a great deal. But I feel there's so much more I should be learning.
For example?
I wish it were possible for me to specialize in tropical diseases. I need to know so much more about how to treat leprosy, malaria, cholera.
And you're not getting this in Philadelphia.
It's not the fault of the college, you understand. It's just not set up to train doctors to work in tropical lands.
You have something else in mind.
Have you heard about the new endowment Cornell Medical College has just received?
I think I do remember seeing something in the Times.
It's an endowment of $1.5 million. And there is a stipulation that women must be admitted to Cornell on an equality with men.
And Cornell is one of the best schools in the country.
It has an excellent course in tropical diseases. And it's located right here in New York City.
You'd like to transfer?
Yes.
Do you really want to? Cornell Medical College has been all male. The first women students wouldn't have an easy time of it.
I know. I'd like to try, nonetheless.
All right. Try it then. I think it's a good decision. Now, there was something here I wanted to show you. Ah, yes. Do you remember mentioning Louisa Hart to me?
Yes, she's a medical doctor in Canada.
Apparently your cousin Lou knows her, and he's convinced her to go to India. She's applied for service with our board, and she's been accepted. She'll be working in Ranipet.
That's where I was born. She'll be working with Lou.
So you won't be the first woman doctor to be appointed by our board.
You were reading my mind. I don't care, not one bit. We need all the help we can get.
Ida, I had no idea you were planning to transfer.
It's all decided, Birchfield. Isn't it exciting?
But you never even discussed the matter with me.
I'm sorry it upsets you, Birchfield.
We've hardly begun to get acquainted.
Birchfield, New York City isn't that far away. I'm not going to the other end of the world.
But you'll be doing that soon enough. I had hoped that...
Philadelphia is only a short distance away by train. There are lots of things we can do together in New York.
You talk as though you're already living there.
Birchfield, did you read that article about that scientist named Halfkind?
I don't want to talk about scientists. I want to talk about us.
Halfkind has been working on inoculations for cholera. He's in Bombay right now. He had been working in Paris, where he developed a vaccine which immunized animals. Imagine the possibility of finally being able to attack cholera. It's all written up in the current journal.
Oh, well, he'll never get the Indians to accept an animal vaccine. Not if what you've told me about the Hindus is true.
That's what's so wonderful about it, Birchfield. Professor Halfkind has devised a culture medium which uses ghee.
What in the world is ghee?
It's a form of butter. The Hindus wouldn't object to that. Think what this can mean in controlling cholera in India.
You overwhelm me, Ida. You live and work and dream only of India.
Birchfield, I must.
Yes. Yes, I suppose you must. It's the way you are. I wish, though, that you could find some time to think about some other things that matter. They're important, too.
Poor Birchfield Milliken. I knew what was on his mind. I had known it for quite some time now. I suppose a woman senses these things intuitively. I liked Birchfield. I liked to be with him. But I was afraid that things between us were progressing too rapidly, things which might keep both of us from achieving our goals. Oh, I wanted to go to Cornell because of the extra challenge it offered, and the more thorough training I could secure, especially in tropical medicine. But I think I also wanted to get away from Philadelphia so I could view my growing attachment for Birchfield with what I hoped would be greater objectivity. I didn't want to go too far away, but the 100 miles between Philadelphia and New York seemed at that moment to be something approximating a safe distance.
And so we conclude Chapter 7 of Dr. Ida, the story of Ida Scudder. This has been another in the series, Stories of Great Christians, coming to you from the Moody Bible Institute of Chicago.